Hi, I'm Jerry Springer. Look at these two men. One's a grandfather. The other one's a minister. Guess what? When they were younger, they were pimps. They drove fancy cars, wore expensive jewelry. They also beat the women who worked for them and kept all the money for themselves. Please meet former pimp Stacy Allen Smith, also known as Pimping Bilbo, and Bishop Magic Wand, who is now a pastor of a church. First things first, tell me, and for our audience, what is a pimp? What does he do?
Well, my job as a pimp was to be considered the female everything. You know, most of the time, young ladies that are looking for love, they're looking for somebody that's concerned about them to be able to take care of them. And this is what a pimp do. He uses women on the street so that they can fulfill his needs materially and however he wanted, their desire to be. Bilbo, he understands because when I first became the #1 pimp in Chicago, he was one of the presenters at the Pimp of the Year ball, and he presented me with the award.
Now, pimp, bear with me, I'm trying to be objective here. What do you mean pimp of the year? This is...
Well, see, this is an annual thing that takes place within the inner city or within the pimp, the players, the
So within the community, it's recognized. Okay, let's get back to what the pimp does now. As I understand it then, you have a stable of women, okay? These women are prostitutes. You send these women out to hotels, on the streets, wherever you send them. They perform their acts of prostitution. They get the money, and they come back to you, and you take all their money. In exchange for what?
Well, exchange for being their everything, fulfilling their every desire, fulfilling the needs in their life. I mean, what a pimp is the overseer of the female. I mean, she's there to fulfill his needs and do his business.
What does she do for you?
Stand on the corner, sell her body so that I could receive the finances to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. This was my job as a pimp, to receive her money. And her job was to stand on the corner and fulfill my desire by getting the money and bringing it home to me.
Does any of this strike you as wrong? There's something when your judgment day comes that all of a sudden someone's going to look at you and say, you know what, that wasn't the best thing to do on earth to make a living.
I'm wearing these dark glasses, not because I'm ashamed of me. I'm 67 years old. But my version of it is, I've seen a lot of people out there old enough to realize the original Coca-Cola ball, the little small one. To me, that was the best. So as the generation passed on, different things. Now, my version of a pimp is altogether different. To me, a pimp is a person who teaches, brings the best out and the worst of female and teach her that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
What are you teaching them with all due respect? You're teaching a woman to go out and sell her body and give me your money?
Mr. Jeremy, you elevate. That's the grammar school basis where I'm concerned. You don't give away nothing that's good enough to sell. She home when she ain't got nothing, so make one step, grammar school, kindergarten, step up, let me elevate you into something else. Every woman I ever had is living in the suburbs now.
Okay, so you're taking women that are stone broke, they're down on their luck, they have nothing.
Well, more or less to motivate them. Women's already out that be involved in different sexual activities, so now they're getting paid for them. He'll motivate them to know to get paid for them.
You say you care for these women, do you beat them?
But you can't stop
You've hit women, haven't you? You hit your women, don't you?
Only to shock them back to reality.
Let that be a lesson. Nobody get away from reality. Wait a second. Go ahead.
See, they call it a pimp whooping. We have a world of our own, just like the gypsies. If you might have made love to a lot of women, but you ain't touched the gypsy yet. So in this field, a layman, I'm to a pimp, any game that you haven't participated in, you are considered a layman, right?
Right.
Y'all do agree with me on that?
Yeah. Where you so far?
How could anybody tell you about a pimp and they don't even know the origination of where he come from, what he here for? He for the unwanted woman. See, I'm gonna say this. You see, God gave everybody a mate. A lot of men are tipping them women's back room and tip outside fast and their pants up real nice and run. So she ain't got nobody want to be seen with her in public. But they give her a mate too. God did that. He gave her the pimp.
Now, wait a second.
Let me explain something to you.
Wait a second.
Don't you agree that, Mr. Springer, let me say this, please.
Sure.
Don't you agree that she's entitled to life, love, and pursuit of happiness?
She's entitled not to be owned, not to be a slave,
No.
not to be beaten, and not to...
All right.
But have a decision to make. This
See,
was
that's the
her
way y'all
choice.
looking at it. That's the way y'all looking at it. Because you ain't the layman in that field. Please believe me, every snowflake that falls from the sky got a different design. Lifestyle. People don't like doctors. They don't like police. Some people don't like you. They don't even like God, and He wake them up every morning. Let me explain something to you. No, that's not my way. When I come along, that's today and I'm yesteryear. That's right. The only reason I'm out here is I hear so many myths, MYTS, and derogatory statements concerning a pimp. And everything done come out the closet but the pimp. I said, well, I'm just going to step out there and try to
Well, we admire your courage, and I'm glad you're here because the truth is we don't know a lot about this, and
I'm going to try to tell you that's why I'm here. Because y'all got it twisted all up. She's a hoe. She stepped up. No.
Excuse
me
me,
and my
sir.
baby hungry. And
Excuse
she
me,
wants to get, we ain't got no money. So I said, come on, baby, let's don't give away nothing good enough to sell now. We both broke. So she go at...
Yeah, but what? Okay, but you know what? It strikes me that she's doing all the work, and while she's out there working, what are you doing?
Oh, it's a mind game. He's working the mind.
You're dressing nice, you're leaning back, you're watching television, you're buying nice clothing.
Well, it's
she gonna buy them too. Baby, you know I ain't lying. We get together.
Okay, let me hear from this woman here.
How you doing, Colette?
Hold on.
Okay, you said that many women are not seen with. Are you seen with the women that you pimp?
Me?
Yeah.
Am I staying with them?
I said, are you seen with the women that you
Oh,
help
it
out
makes
here
me
on the
feel
street?
good to be with her.
Okay, all the women that you pimp, you be seen with them, right?
I used to have a gold chain.
Okay. Oh, you live with all of these women you are
and
seen
put them
with,
all
right?
on the same chain.
Places
Come on,
with them,
baby.
you go out with them, you
Okay,
wind
so
them
they-
down.
Wait a second. Okay, hold on, let it talk. Okay.
They bring you in this money while you got all this gold and jewelry on your fingers while you going around looking all good, you know. And how do you dress your women?
Dressed just like I did.
Oh, so they have
they
gold
had
on their
diamonds, they
fingers,
had
you know,
pearls,
they
had
dress from diamond stud
They had
boots
everything,
all the way
just
up to
like me. I wouldn't
tuxedos,
want
you
them to
know.
look any different than me. They supplied my needs,
What
so
do
I
you
was able
do?
to supply theirs.
What do you do for these? I don't understand this. Assuming the woman makes the decision that she wants to be a prostitute.
Right.
That's her decision that she made. Where do you enter into it? Why does she need you? If she is getting paid for what she is doing, why isn't that her money? Why should she give it to you? What do you do for her?
One thing about it is, you know, it was a such thing that prostitutes stand on the corner is considered outlaw. They had to have a man to represent them, a man that could stand in the gap for them when different people come around, somebody try to
What's
take their
wrong with
money.
having a friend? What's wrong with having a lawyer? What's wrong with not breaking the law?
Well, it's just the same thing, that it was a profession, and just like he was saying earlier, a prostitute needs a pimp. They're the only one that won't understand one another.
Which one is the minister?
I am.
Okay, you're saying this now, but now that you're in your ministry, do you think that was right for you to take this lady out and give her self-esteem this way? Couldn't you just teach her then that the way is Christ and that's the only way it is? And also, you say that you're a minister now. I'm a Christian, and we as Christians, the Lord teaches us how to walk, talk, dress, and live. Do you think that's Christian-like? Or for you to go out to the world and try to minister to someone and you're wrapped in gold? They say the streets are paved with gold. We don't need to have all this gold.
But the Bible also said, you know, judge the heart, not the outer appearance.
You what? I'm sorry.
Well, I was explaining to her, see, the Bible lets us know to judge the heart of a person, not the outer appearance. It said man's always judge the outer appearance. The Bible tells us to stop dealing in the minors and deal with the major. It's more interested in saving a soul than worry about the jewelry and the clothes and the raiment that one's wear.
But I'm looking at, may I look at this, for example? You have
Well,
here.
look here, I serve a rich God. My God said he'll supply all of my needs. I don't know what kind of God she served. Maybe she's serving a God of a lesser.
How many women were sent out on the streets to be with men they didn't know, to be in a situation which they could have been physically hurt?
Well, they have at times.
They have been hurt.
They have
How
at
many
times.
women have been beaten or died to pay for this?
I had one to be shot 5 times, but I never had a woman that have been
Then how can you, in a conscience, keep this? Even keep this worth how much about?
About $17,000.
$17,000 that you are wearing on your hand, and it has been bought on the backs of women that have been beaten, in your own words, shot. As a minister, doesn't that say to you, you know what I ought to do with this?
Well, you know, this is a testimony of my past life. This is an opportunity to be able to share and let the people know what I once was a part of. I mean, I believe that we serve a rich God, then we should look prosperous. I paid and I